All right, folks, we're back. Let's talk about updates. I think that Stats has waited long enough, and so have we. Hurricane is now officially forfeited down to the losers bracket, so he can still compete to try to win, but this is kind of his punishment for trying to play 2 tournaments at the same time. We're not down with that. We not Gucci. So Stats advances to fight against soO. soO might be on the North American server. I'm Pokemon Skype here in Tomcom, Korea. Whoops. Alright, come Korea server. I Englished that really well. Whoops. But yeah, okay, so soO versus Stats is still only going to be a best of 3, but this is going to determine the first player qualified through. This is really exciting for me, though, because I love that this is rounding out the groups very nicely before we even touch invites, giving us freedom to invite anybody we want. But for those who don't know, Jakshi and Gumiho are the 2 players already qualified into the groups, now soon to be joined by either soO or Stats. Not to mention there's still the losers bracket to go through afterwards, but that should catch up hopefully soon. The losers bracket is actually surprisingly behind compared to most, but that's okay. Gives us more to cast. But I poked soO, so hopefully he'll be back here shortly. He may have gone on a break.
Yeah, I guess so. He should be here soon.
Yeah. Soon. I see what you did there. You silly goose. But yeah, while we do, there he is. Yay! soO, save us from this downtime.
Please, love of God. Unless other videos.
That's true. I need to go look and see if my internet's getting installed in the new place or not.
I thought you said assaulted.
You guys are gonna hear some weird Facebook messages because I don't know how to mute that on account of the fact that I never use Facebook.
You come. Does Facebook make sounds?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I never use it, so I thought it's one of those things where it'd be like Skype, where it only makes a sound if you're not paying attention to it. But as I'm messaging my roommate, it's like bing, 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 bing. So sorry, guys.
Well.
But yeah, to explain what happened yesterday, this really frustrated me. I was very upset about this. This was all well before the drunk cast. I live in Langley, which is about an hour and a half out of Richmond, where I'm moving to. And to get internet set up in this new place, I would have had to take a very expensive taxi down, get there just in time, and come back home to cast. And it would have cost me like $200 for travel just for the day, because that's how much a fucking taxi costs. I hate taxis. Where's Uber? God damn it, BC. That's a different rant. Let's not get distracted. So the scheduled appointment, I'm told, is, hey, we'll come install the internet to your place between 10 and 2. I thought, I can't possibly wait that long if I want to cast. So I asked my roommate, who I'm moving in with, hey, can you be there at the place for 10 till 2 specifically? And she said no problem. So she's ready to go there for 10. She lives about 10 minutes away currently from where she is right now. I get a call at 9:38 or 9:48 or something from the Shaw guy, and he's like, hey, I'm at your place a bit early, can you let me in? And I'm like, well, no, because I don't live. And I explained the situation calmly, and I said, I've got someone on the way, just chill. And he's getting agitated. It's like he was there early and he didn't want to wait a bunch. And I understood not wanting to waste your time, but he was there early, again 12 to 15 minutes early. So I tell Kate right away, hey, you got to get there as soon as you can. She grabs a taxi. She's on her way. I get another call from the guy 5 minutes later saying, I'm not waiting. I'm not wasting my time. I got to go. So he just leaves. And I'm furious because I'm look, you've told me 10 till 2. This is a 4-hour window. You're there early and you're leaving before it's even begun. What the fuck? And I'm getting really agitated on the phone. So the guy and I just hang out mad at each other, basically. So I tell her, hey, you know what? If you're already in the cab, turn around. Don't waste a bunch of money. If you're not, then don't bother getting in. The guy just dicked us over. We'll reschedule. So I get a call half an hour later from the guy, livid that he's still there waiting. I'm like, dude, you told me you were leaving. Like, why would we have gone? Like, so it's just been a headache. I'm super mad, and I guess they're already late. They told us 9 till 11 today. So she's there at the place waiting, and that's what I was checking in on. Sorry, it's a whole mess. I hate trying to set up this new place. It's ugh.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like once I do have the internet set up, I'll be good to go. There's like I've already set up the hydro bills. I've got utilities covered. I've tested the heating. It's all good to go. It's just the internet, and the internet's been a real pain to deal with.
The guy sounds like a dick.
Yeah. So sorry, I said it's nice to get that rant off my chest, but hey, let's get back into what matters. I wish Ting did internet in Canada. Okay, this is the Ting Open Season 3 Wildcard Qualifiers, and this is a qualifying match. In the bottom right side, hailing from Korea, we have the Blue Zerg, better known as soO.
In the top left is the red Protoss. He is Splice Stats.
I'm not sure where in that story people got the inference that I lived in the United States from. I live in British Columbia, for those who don't know.
Maybe you said BC and they heard BC?
Oh, you know what it might be? I mentioned that I was moving to Richmond, and don't you have a Richmond in your state?
Ah, yeah, that's true. Richmond is the capital of Virginia.
Which is really annoying, because Vancouver's also in, like, Washington or something. Or, not in Washington, excuse me, in, like, Seattle. So I was talking to my friend in Portland. She's like, yeah, I live, like, an hour outside of Vancouver. I'm like, really? We should hang out. And she's like, but you're not in the States. And it was such a confusing conversation, because I'm like, I'm an hour out of Vancouver. You're an hour of Vancouver. Wait, geographically, this doesn't make sense. So at least these two Richmonds are on opposite sides of the country. Those two Vancouvers are very close to each other. It's very, very stupid, very silly. Anyways, we've actually had the pleasure of watching a lot of stats games today. You know, that's Splice hype. But if you guys haven't seen, he is streaming his own games. If someone in chat wants to link that for the viewers to go watch, please do. But that reminder where we have a stream delay on, don't bring spoilers back here. We won't appreciate it. But it's definitely worth checking out a really great Korean player like Stats when you can to see his first-person point of view on the game.
Yeah. Stats is looking to taking the finals, but soO is the final boss, like literally and figuratively. It's what's standing between him and qualifying for that first spot, as well as just the bigger name, the biggest name of all the Zergs we've seen so far. Curious has his good days, but he's never really had a large backing to his name. Impact, you know, had a bit of hype 2 years ago, but never really followed up. Who else did we cast? I don't know, but a ton of the people, right? But soO is the big boss, and we'll see if he can do better against Stats. We're on Paladino again. I don't know if this is Stats loving Paladino for some odd reason, or actually it's everyone who loves Paladino.
It's such a terrible thing. Like, look at this wall off, right? Like, you can't even wall this off because there's another way down here through the south side. So it's the map layout is already unappealing, but it's just weird in general. But turns out, by the way, just after checking in, the guy arrived. So internet's hopefully getting installed as we speak.
Cool. Everything's lining up aces.
I don't think that's the saying.
Shut up.
I think you just say
Close
everything.
enough.
Everything's aces. Why would you have to line them up?
Isn't it everything's showing up aces? It's like you flip
Turning
the
up. Yeah.
Ah, turning up. Yeah, lining up, whatever. You know what? I like to have my cards in a line from, you know, highest to lowest. When I play poker, so you can see me shuffling around like I'm playing Go Fish. Yeah, that's how I do it.
And yet somehow you knocked me and Maynard and many others out at BlizzCon.
Although, yeah, wisecracks. That was my bad.
I'm being proven how bad my American knowledge is here. Seattle is a city. Yeah, whoops.
Wait, what did you say it was?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm an idiot. I'm not aware of
Did you say it
this.
was a state? Okay,
I
anyway.
meant to say south of Seattle, but I think I phrased it in a way that made it sound like I was referring to Seattle as the state. So
Okay.
I'm not even going to pretend like I didn't say something stupid. I did.
I didn't catch it.
By the way, this wall up is set. Last time we saw Stats do this, there was that very awkward pylon as part of the wall. This time he's putting full gateways into his wall. So I guess learning from his mistakes in that regard. Yay.
Yay. Way to go, buddy. Well, soO isn't all-inning anyway, so it doesn't matter. really matter so much. By the time they're going to be butting heads here, it's going to be at Stats' third, if I'd imagine. soO took this third, and I think it's going to be a while yet before we really have like agreed upon thirds for each race. People are going to be taking personal choices for a little while longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been like what, 2 weeks since the maps have been out, so not long enough to cement anything in, at least. Yeah, that usually takes a good couple months. But anyways, these adepts are gonna get some drone kills. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Didn't go for the second Oracle. If he had, then soO would be even more scared of this attack, as it is forced to make Lings in a tight corner here, and it's having a bit of trouble. You know, you're supposed to be using this third as not only like building drones, but actually using your drones, and currently it's doing neither. Adepts get into that choke, so even if the Lings had tried to, you know, run ahead of them and collapse on them, that wouldn't have worked. But they actually just tried to kill a probe. And they did. Mission accomplished.
Oh, we got some Twitch Prime sub action going on. Thank you so much. From Symph. Void Ray cleans up the overlords, and I just see more people getting confused about the locations. Someone say I live in Vancouver, I have a friend in Vancouver, this makes things confusing. Yeah. Been there,
I see
done
people
that.
making fun of me. So I think we're even now.
Even on the El Terrible scale. But yo, my man, Van freaking Rookie! Best was Frostmage Monk / WoW player I know. Rifkin is so handsome and provides commentary that really gets me going. Ace TC. Venruki.
Tell him to do that.
You.
It sounds like something you had to like write on a piece of paper and hand to him.
It's like
Rifkin is so handsome.
It's the note you're swapping in class. He's actually talking about me to his crush, but you know, like the teacher intercepts the note. It's like, you want me to read this in front of the whole class?
Oh, is that how you flirted? You let your friend send a note to someone else for you?
You think about it, this is kind of what happened though. You're reading the note in front of 2,800 people, right? Like, that's every sub note. Like, all right. By the way, soO has got quite the army going for him at the cost of a lot of drones. This is without tech, so it's pretty safe to say dedication is the word I would use, because all-in would piss people off, but it's what it is, guys, and he's looking to break Stats. Stats hasn't quite got the Immortal yet, so he doesn't have an easy mode defense. I think a Warp Prism's got a lot of maneuverability, but the surprising thing is seeing 6 Queens along the front line. You want things to turn up aces? soO turns up Queens.
I want to line him up aces, damn it. The pylons were almost done in time, and they even got a couple of pot shots. Whoa, my voice just broke. They even got a couple of pot shots off, but it still was not enough. Stats, I guess, might have just been better off letting his third die. I don't know if he'd be in a much better position even if that had been the case.
Queens, of course, push off that Void Ray. It's hovering above the safe zone for the time being. The choke might work out for Stats, though, and maybe it's like this one force field area that's made him say, you know what, this map isn't so bad, but while this goes on, a counterattack does start off, but it's 2 Adepts. It's not very strong. Stats is floating a lot of money, and I think we're seeing the same problem we saw earlier today, where he just doesn't have a lot of gateways.
It looks like it. And of course, losing gateways is also not being very helpful. The Warp Prism probably should have been on the home fronts, protecting these Immortals. 6 drones is not enough, but it's still racking, I guess. There's the army, though. Gee. Thank you to Doomda for the Twitch Prime sub.
Wait, what does that say? Doomda.
Doomda.
Oonga bongo. Doomda.
Out of mana. Out of mana, Dad. Out of mana.
Man,
Yeah.
I haven't had to use the phrase in so long. I hate playing casters in every game ever, so it's like always melee all the time, always. Mana, not a problem. But thank you for that Prime sub. And then, of course, Full Metal Octopus gave us 1,200 bits. It actually lagged XSplit. I don't know if you guys caught that. When he gave the bits, it totally lagged my XSplit. So, hey, 1,200 bits. Thank you. Actually, did they have a message? No, I just cheered it. What a nice guy. What an upstanding citizen. But map number 2 already being hosted up by our cat mom zombie grub and her wonderful little kitty Apollo.
I love when he sits like this.
I love when your cat just like they're so comfortable that they just put their chin down and they're just nuzzling into whatever they're sitting on, whether it's your elbow or like your tummy.
Apollo does this thing where he'll knead and purr all night, and then when he finally gets, to a point of sleeping, he lays his head down and then he does this big old sigh and he goes.
Aww.
He'll literally do that, and it's so cute, guys. Cuter than even when I did it. That
sounds super adorbs. But hey, we're getting into the game. Map 2 is Belcher Vestige. Let's hop into it. Now, of course, if you guys haven't been watching most of the stream, that reminder that this is the qualifying match for the TING Open. Also, and additionally, if you guys are like, what the hell is TING? You haven't heard us blab about it enough at this point. TING is a US mobile phone service. So if you're in the United States, listen up, guys. You could get some extra good service for some very little cash. The best part about TING that I really like is they're very genuine. If you actually check their website, they've got a cost savings calculator, and they'll tell you like, hey, don't sign up with us if it's not going to save you money, please. Mm-hmm. And I like honesty. I like transparency. I like TING. But folks, he lost game number 1. In some trouble. In the top left, it's going to be the red Protoss player stats.
In the bottom right is the blue Zerg. He is soO.
Now I really like soO. Seeing him get through these brackets, we didn't cast a single one of his games. So for that reason, I'm rooting against him. I think story-wise, we watched stats play all day. It would be way more awesome to see him get through. But I will say, just objectively, both stats and soO are fantastic players. Both are players I'd like to see in that group stage.
Of course. Just a reminder, this is not the Korean bracket in Qualifier. It is the WildCard qualifier. But
even though it basically is, we're essentially going to have like 4 Korean groups when this comes down to it. I mean...
Yeah. The lower bracket is really lagging behind, which means there's a lot more games to come. But unfortunately, it also increases the chances that people are going to dip out later because, well, Penguin is up against Lucira. But that's going to go on for a long time, probably because they're base trading. Impact and B-Lord are only just happening now. And it's 1-1, so kudos to B-Lord. And then Fear is out, so we're left with 2 foreigners. No, 3 foreigners, sorry, Penguin. 3 foreigners still left in the bracket. Long way to go. I feel like Hurricane is going to just forfeit. Maybe Leenock too. Feels bad. But we'll see. So, soO did open with a pool first, by the way, and Stats took advantage of this. Pylon blocked both hatcheries. What a dick.
Yeah, this is really annoying, but Stats, well, he's been doing a lot of pylon blocks throughout the games. I don't think any of them really truly screwed over the Zerg players.
Well, it's always so hard to say when it does screw them over or not. Like, I think the most definite screwing over would be if you catch them doing a 3 hatch before pool. Then that would really suck. But that's obviously unlikely. Otherwise, even if they're trying to go for a hatch first, like, is it really that bad? Is it really going to affect the mid-game in a super harsh way? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Well, I was thinking about it too, like, he went really dedicated, right? Like, he even went for the Cybercore that one time. So I don't know, like, Stats puts so much into it. I mean, 2 pylons, don't get me wrong, I'm not overanalyzing 2 pylons here, but it's just interesting that that's been the course of action for the day, considering this has all been PvZ.
Yeah. Oh, soO does take his hatcheries. I mean, the thing about what soO did and why it's kind of a pain for him to have to be pylon blocked is that he wanted to make up the lack of a natural hatchery with a double expand, basically. So they had to come down at the exact same time now. It's a little bit more awkward, I guess, as the build goes. But it's still, it might not be devastating. We'll see what else he can do to kind of even retaliate a little bit for doing that. And that's Overlord drop.
So I know it's a bit of trolling in chat, but I actually want to answer this question. As the Overlord drop goes off, Dire Desires has BaseTradeTV even tried TING? Yeah, it's US only, but it's great for roaming. Like, even, again, like, I go to the States once every few months. TING works out pretty perfectly for that. And it's way cheaper than Telus' roaming package plan, which I have right now. So, I basically just swap out SIM cards every time I go to the States, and it works out really nice.
Perfect. Sure. Well, this is doing a surprising amount of damage. It can't hit a pylon, but I think it's 2 probes, almost 3. And if it got in 4, that would have been amazing. But still gets a decent scout, too. soO is droning behind this. A little supply blocked, though. Take a drink. Oh, more than a little supply blocked. Oh, soO actually messed up.
It's not real, please. Well, actually, more than supply blocked, I'm curious about his gas income right now, right? Like, he's gone for +1 weapons. Cool. He's getting a Baneling. That's great. But he's got 1 gas worth of income. So it's going to be like both Banelings that he can make out of that.
He definitely screwed up with this Overlord block. He's going to lose. Well, I think he lost that Queen because of it. He would have had 10 more Lings and be able to stall out the Adepts a little bit sooner. And he just killed 6 drones immediately. This is a lot to do with that supply block. 26 Lings that have already been out and ready to go. And thanks to K2 K-Star for the 2-month resub and Parsap for the Twitch Prime sub.
Yo, I'm loving these new subs, guys. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. The Adepts aren't really destined to do a lot more, but he's trying to trade out them as cost effectively as he can. I think he was really hoping that Transfer would have gotten away scot-free, but while Stats does lose the Adepts, I don't think he comes out so much worse for it. He's got a lot back at home. His income is beating the crap out of soO, and I think that this counterattack of Lings, it's not going to get a lot done. Maybe if this already had Banelings with it, but it's just Lings against Adepts and Force Fields. And of course,
yeah, not too effective. Everything is already set up, and Stats has just simply gotten a lead from everything that has happened in this game. Yeah, even taking this engagement would not have been that bad, even with soO's +1. I don't think soO wisely disengages. And just not getting his lair.
And I mean, he's throwing down more drones. He's trying to catch up in that economy game. It's just, it sucks because he is playing from behind. But for me, I'm still sitting here like, dude, your gas has been hurting for so bad for so long. You just got a second geyser up. I mean, this is a situation where we're wondering, like, why is there not a lot of Banelings? And it's because there's not a lot of gas to make Banelings. You can't afford to trade these out.
Yeah. Yeah, soO's in a rough spot. And, that economy definitely was the worst of it. Income advantage just pretty good for Stats. And now he's going to be on his way to Archons. I would assume he goes for Charge again. He seems to have really liked Charge so far, even if he already opened up with Resident Glaives. But we don't see anything quite yet. He doesn't actually have to get Charge if he have Resident Glaives. Like, you could just go Mass Adept Archon Storm.
And the good news is, apparently the guy, in a matter of 5 minutes, got to the apartment, set up the internet, and left. 5 minutes, was all that took.
Really? How? I guess I've never really thought about how people do it.
Well, because it's already installed. It's just not it was the activation they had to do and install the modem. Okay. So all that BS from yesterday, and the guy could have just done it in 5 minutes. I swear to God.
Yep.
All right. So the Adepts head over to the main, carried in by the Warp Prism. There's not really a lot defending because all the Lings are on the other side of the map right now, and this is actually kind of bad for soO. He's got a couple roaches in position, so never mind. Does have something here to fend that off. I was going to mention with the Overlords having seen this, there's no way he should be completely caught off guard. But while this is going on, Storm's getting cooked. This isn't something we usually see rushed down too quickly, and for Stats' sake, well, that's going to be a huge way to wash Lings off of your army.
Yeah. I mean, he did kind of skip a secondary Twilight Council upgrade. When you consider most Protoss games eventually have all Twilight Council upgrades, even Charge, if it takes them 20 minutes in a PvT, it still eventually happens. It's like that's kind of what he puts into Storm, and +2. We'll see. Storm is a very effective tool to have if it hits. Sometimes they still get surrounded 360 styles, and
I feel
it's not enough.
The way I would equate Storms, honestly, in this sort of matchup is it's almost like a shotgun blast. Like, you're going to hit something, but it's a matter of, like, how much did you hit them with, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of Lings running around. There's going to be a lot of Banelings running around. The Storm's, like, it's guaranteed to hit, but it's just about how much it hits.
Yeah. And Stats is pushing with a very strong army. +2 won't be done with this, and he does have the option of retreating and, getting a second Robo, or, again, like, more Twilight Council upgrades, and a 4th base is already on the way, but I'm not sure he has to. Assuming that the Archons can soak up the Banelings, he might not even need Storms.
Well, most of the Banelings popped off before any of the Adepts or Zealots were touched. The problem is the Archons went down in the process, and now there's a lot of Roaches chasing back Gateway units. If there's more Immortals here, there's a lot more staying power, but Stats is the one who's got to pick up and go because soO's pushing now with almost twice the army supply.
The Archons did soak up a nice number of Banelings, but Stats, his splits weren't quick enough or good enough. Like, he definitely could have traded out even better. I still think he gets overwhelmed. There was just a lot of army for Zerg, but it probably could have been traded better. So he certainly needs the time now.
Oh,
as the fourth base gets canceled.
This is troublesome, though. There's a couple of storms ready to go for when the fight happens, but I mean, with Roaches and Ravagers, well, actually, Ravagers is kind of weak, but still, the Roaches can weather the storms. A lot of Lings, a lot of Banelings coming in, and frankly, soO on 4 bases now, I'm really worried his macro is just going to be too much for Stats to keep up with.
Well, Stats did manage to buy enough time against that fourth base to get a couple of storms, but Charge isn't done, and Immortal's going to try and help out. Archon morphs in, and Storm hits a lot of Ravagers.
Oh, it takes out the Templar, though. Nope. The Templar just walked into the Ravagers without storming. A lot of them had energy when they died. Feels really bad for Stats, but looks like he's on the outs. By the way, we had Eunice get to the main, of course, too. So Guts everything up here. GG. soO will qualify 2-0. And we'll see him for the wildcard groups.
All right. soO pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sad because we followed apparently the wrong player. No, I'm just kidding. Stats actually had some really great games today. And frankly, we saw a lot of really good PvZ out of him, so it is a bit surprising to watch him die to soO in such a one-sided manner. But Stats isn't out yet. He still has the losers bracket to compete in, so we'll be crossing our fingers and wishing him luck. But the losers bracket actually has a lot of games available, guys, and we'll probably be hopping into some of these shortly. I'm not sure if they're all playing, if there's like tentative walkovers. I don't know, but we've got Hurricane, Leenock, Curious at least. But no games are available right now. So we're going to wait till the game's available. We'll go to commercial break. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.